Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 684. Trustee Training. You'd rather be light versus effective. This is a very interesting episode. Appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens to replay, has throughout the years, and even everybody that's listening new. This particular episode is for trustees that have gone through and still are in the training. And, we had some scenarios come up throughout the years. And, this is one of those things that's going to help some trustees out because a lot of trustees, not even a lot, some trustees are making transitions from job mentalities to entrepreneur mentalities. And we're just going to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give you a real world example today where, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Trust Christian in the Vault, we've been doing this stuff for before 2020, before 2017, been on podcasts, been involved in this information, been surrounded by millionaires and billionaires. A lot of people, they want to sit here and, oh, well, Christian, you talk about the billionaires all the time. It's like, well, that's generational wealth. That's what generational wealth is. It's the millions and billions. But over the internet, because it's the internet, it's, oh, well, generational wealth, Christian, that means I'm going to put my assets in a trust and I'm going to protect my assets in a trust. And then when Trust Christian come on the line with them and say, y'all got to have structure. You got to organize. You got to have set meetings every single week. What's so hard about 752 meetings a week? Oh, Trust Christian, I never did that before. That's too hard. Okay, we tell you to do it bi-weekly. We train our trustees to do it bi-weekly. Oh, man, Trust Christian about, I got to go on vacation. You got to go on vacation. What's that mean? You can't go on a site visit. You can't take 30 minutes out of the family estate schedule for you to go on vacation. But it shows where the priorities is. It shows where the thought process is. So a lot of trustees want to be liked. Oh, Trust Christian, don't you like me? I'm brown just like you. I look just like you. Don't you like me? You're not going to cut me off. You wouldn't cut your own people off. What people? Because your people will treat you with respect. Your people will understand it's about being effective when you talk about trustee training and generational wealth. No, I trust Christian. I want you to talk to me nice. Ain't that what they say? Y'all want to go there today? Talk to me nice, Trust Christian in the vault. I can't have you talk to me like I'm a real man or a real woman. Oh, because most people are in the household together and they're not really together. Y'all want to hear that again? Y'all know how many trustees go through the trustee training program and they're married and they're not on the same page? They're not going to the training together. You got one trustee going to, both of them don't know nothing, but you're going to send one into the battle. When you got four hemispheres at work, when you got two brains at work, clearly we know it ain't two brains at work now, and we might even not even have four hemispheres fully working cognitively, because they'd rather be liked instead of being effective. Trust Christian vote. I'm gonna come on the line and not dress the part. You rather be liked. Instead of preparing yourself for success, how are you going to walk into a bank, a financial institution? Don't they wear suits and ties at the bank? Nah, Trust Christian, the crappy bank I go to in the middle of nowhere, they wear polos. People rather be liked than effective. Trust Christian Involves never had an issue going to open up a bank account. Trust Christian Involves never had a problem sitting in a room with multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires. We sit in a room with people that got $100 billion. Trust Christian Involved. We're going to go ahead and share with y'all the facts. Because there's way too many people thinking that they can come over to this side of the table. Oh, we're going to sit over here on generational wealth. Oh, I'm a trustee. No, you're not. You're an employee. That's what you are. You're mentally an employee. See, Trust Christian Involved don't care about being liked. That's why we talk the way we talked on the vault, as long as we have. Because that's not getting the job done. It's not getting the job done. What's getting the job done is when you pay attention to what Trust Christian Vault And what we've done throughout the years privately, you get the job done. You're around multimillionaires. You're around multi-billionaires. Took some trustees around multi-billionaires recently. What you think, it's going to be a free lunch? You think these billionaires want to talk to you? Why would they want to talk to you? Because you want to be liked. Instead of showing them value. Instead of presenting value. You don't want to be effective. How do I get in with a billionaire, Trust Christian Vol? You do the same thing Trust Christian Vol did. You ask, what is your biggest challenge and how can I help? And then you don't even ask, how can I help y'all? You go think and you go work on the problem. You go work on the solution for their problem. So you remember it was a while back where that's why we have the pace that we have, the cadence that we have with the Vault episodes now. Because at one point you realize you either going to serve the masses or you're going to serve the classes. Hard pill for most to swallow. Because they working for the man. They got to work for the man mentality. They rather be liked. They don't want to quit their job. We got trustees scared to quit their job. How could I quit, Trust Christian and Vault? I want the security of a job. What security? What security? Can't you get fired? Yeah. Then where is the security? Unemployment? Oh, welfare. Welfare. No savings. No generational wealth. Welfare. They rather be liked. We've had trustees throughout the years quit their job. Ain't nothing new. Trustees, they say, what does it look like to be liked versus effective, Trust Christian? Well, here we go. Trustees reach out to Trust Christian all the time. We did a webinar this past weekend about taxes, actually, with an enrolled agent. Someone that worked for the IRS. Oh, Trust Christian, I need to find somebody for bookkeeping. I need to find somebody for account. First of all, how you going to be a good trustee when the cost of doing business is the cost of doing business? So if you want to find great professional help, not crappy help, professional help, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. You got to pay the cost to get the generational wealth asset protection. Okay. You want to know why you want to be liked versus effective, or if you are? Do you have questions? See, some people say, oh, I'm afraid of looking stupid. I don't want to ask the wrong question. That's being liked. Being effective is, hey, look, I don't know nothing about this. Tell me, based off of my situation, how you would work with me. That's effective. You're asking a question based off your situation. Y'all want to know what like look like? Like looks like someone bringing up a hypothetical situation that they not even in. It's almost considered a stupid question, but we can't call it that. We're just going to say they want to be liked. Oh, Trust Christian. Well, let's just say, I want to get a direct deposit from my job to my trust. Do you hear that? That's what like sounds like. That's what liked sounds like. Effective is, hey, you know what? Generational wealth, I got to get off this job. I ain't even think about this job no more. I ain't even talk about this job no more. Trust Christian Vault, I know what I'm supposed to do with that money. That money's going to get taxed because I'm doing it through a W-2. Because there's no effectiveness in a W-2. It's a job. That's not generational wealth, but you're still talking about it. Effective is, Trust Christian Vault, look, I admit, you're right. I'm transitioning from a job mentality to a business owner mentality. Nobody in my family's been richer than me. That's the first vulnerable moment that some of y'all gonna have. Most of y'all, most of the trustees that reach out are some of the wealthiest people in their family. They ain't even wealthy. They just got the most amount of money in their family bloodline. So when you get to that moment of realization, you say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get effective. Hey, Trust Christian, guess what? I need to know. How do I stay in this position and grow it? We get online with trustees. Trustee says, hey, I'm going to sign up for the All Black Country Club. No, that's being liked. You need to connect with more than one race, more than one culture, so you can diversify your ends. and then your means will grow. That's the facts. Oh, Trust Christian, what you trying to say? I can't hang out with my people. I can't go to the country club. My people. I can't get in the Black Men Business Club for America. Well, you're limiting your pool. It's less than 50 million of those people in the United States. It's 300 million people plus in the United States. You're limiting your pool of people that you can work with. That's you being liked because you're staying in your comfort zone. Because we sat at dinner last night at a Michelin. Y'all want to hear how some of the people we sit around talk? Oh, Trust Christian, don't tell us the truth. I don't want to hear the truth. I'm not going to go around those people. I don't want to be around those wealthy people. If that's what I got to hear, I'm not going. And we're okay with that. We will never see you at the table. But just know, the people at the table that we sitting at, your family will be working for. They're going to buy you out. They're going to buy your house when you foreclose on it and you can't make the payments. And they're going to buy pennies on the dollar. You want to be liked versus effective. We were sitting at the table. They said, oh, yeah, X, Y, and Z, what's your gangster rap name? We're going to talk it. Because there's way too many people that want to be liked. They don't want to hear the truth. They want you to tell them the lie. Oh, Trust Christian, everybody loves everybody. What do you mean? That's some kumbaya mentality. Trust Christian involved. We don't relate. We okay with that. That's not how it works. Don't tell us that, Trust Christian. Oh, I don't want to hear that I can't be liked. I'm a good person. This is business. It's not personal. Downside of Trust Christian involved working with certain cultures. We've loved other cultures. We've loved working with other cultures. And for that reason, when you show love to some people you call your own, familiarity breeds contempt. They think that you're supposed to just love them because they look like you, because they got the same color as you. One of the most racist and colorist things you could say. Well, I look like you, shouldn't you treat me right? No. Remember when we came on, I did an episode about everybody ain't created equal. See, y'all living in a world right now. Trust Christian Vault knows about this world. Some people are older than Trust Christian Vault. If you 40 plus up, y'all know about this world where you're living in a world where everybody's not created equal. Trust Christian, don't say that. The book says this. The Constitution says this. If that's the case, how come you weren't born into a billion? How come you weren't born into a million? You want to know why? Because you're not equal. You have to make things happen. Oh, Trust Christian, this is a lot of work. You ain't told me it was a lot of work to be a trustee. I'm trying to be a trustee in generational wealth. I'm trying to hold. Why I gotta hold a meeting for my family? Why I gotta be the one that's gonna look like I'm not gonna show up to the family meetings no more? Cause I gotta do that. Oh, you don't want to look like the oddball. You don't want to put up in your house, or when people come into your house, your values are sitting on the wall so they can see them as soon as they come in. They know what time it is. And when they leave out, they know what time it is. What do we value in here? We value freedom. So that means we ain't a slave to nobody else's job. Oh, Trust Christian, what you trying to say about jobs? Somebody's got to have a job. Hey, maybe that's for your family. We're not all created equal, remember? Some of us are entrepreneurs going to step out and actually do the things that are required to grow generational wealth, have generational wealth, while the others, they're going to take second place. See, what happened to the Americans that said there's winners and losers in life? Now we got people talking about, oh yeah, just show up to Life Trust Christian Vote. We all need a participation badge. I'm in Trust Christian Vote. Don't I get a participation badge? You showed up. You were born. Yeah. People used to come to us, oh yeah, I was born American citizen, so I'm worth $1 billion. Ain't did nothing, but they worth $1 billion. I'm worth $100 million on the UCC. What? You worth $100 million? They don't know the difference between equity and debt, but they want to tell you, how much they worth. Couldn't tell you if they was worth equity or debt.
Don't know if it's an equity or debt on their QSIP if they got one. Don't know the difference between ownership and control. People ask us questions all the time, simple. They'll be like, what's the definition of this word? We'll tell them, Google it. That's the mentality of effective. When you ask a question, you're willing to do the research, not take another man's word for it. But what you mean? We got a bunch of people that, oh man, hey, George Christian, can you tell me the difference between commingling funds and fraudulent transfer? Because I'm too lazy. That's what it's called. I'm too lazy. I'd rather be like Christian, George Christian. I like you, George Christian. Can't you just tell me the answer? I paid. Can't you just tell me the answer? Instead of actually doing what Trust Christian said. Outside of freedom, the next value is independence. Independence in thought. Independence in movement. But I'd rather be like Trust Christian involved. Don't get upset with me that my significant other doesn't come on to the trainings with you. She doesn't like you. Yeah, and that's why you guys aren't effective. How you gonna get business done? You're not sending a business meeting. It's a business meeting for your family. You gonna let one and y'all don't want to know. We got trustees literally. They are planning their divorces. Huh? But the other significant other think they just gonna sit around and the other partner gonna tell them. But really they don't know. The one that's sitting on the line with us, they're planning their divorce. Don't even know. The other partner don't even know it. Because you got one person trying to be like and the other one's being effective. Church Christian vote. I just want the free information. I want the cheap information. Instead of doing what? Having some people sit on your board. Going out and recruiting some people. We brought someone on the line for the taxes. How many people reached out to her? Y'all don't know. We talked to our professionals that we reached out to y'all with, and they told us the truth. Did you reach out? Man, I wasn't ready. I didn't know what to ask. Instead of getting on the phone and being vulnerable. Booking, what, you want free? Did you book the free consultation? No, Trust Christian, because I don't really, it's not the end of the year yet, so why would I get on there? Instead of being effective and getting that done in June. Getting your things squared away. Oh, Trust Christian, I thought that was going to be cheap. Instead of getting on the line and asking, how much does this cost? Hey, matter of fact, I don't need to know all of how much it costs. I need to know what I need to get done. How much does that cost? Because they'd rather be liked. They just rather be liked, ladies and gentlemen. Trust Christian involved, I'm gonna reach out to somebody at one point. Okay. When you gonna put people on your advisory board, on the board of trustees? I ain't. I don't know if I should bring them in. You ain't got no help. It's just you. 100% or nothing. So we'll give y'all a real world example. Trust Christian involved, yes, we do make moves in silence. We actually got a compliment, get quite a few compliments from trustees and otherwise, and they're like, man, Trust Christian involved, you rarely come on and show your face on the podcast, you know, because we're focused on being effective, not liked. Oh, Trust Christian, you got this podcast, and you out here talking to people, but people want you to show off. They want you to show the Maybach music. They want you to show the houses. They want you to show the cars. They want you to wear the nice suits. They want you to show the islands that you're sitting on. We want to see the private jets. We want to see the helicopters. We want to see the fancy dinners, Trust Christian involved. We got to see all the stuff that keeps you broke looking. Instead of focusing on what? Maintaining the wealth. Privately. Don't say that to me, Trust Christian involved. I see. Let me just go back to our story with one of our board. We got on the line with him today, and he chewed us out. Said, Trust Christian involved, you doing a lot of playing around with it. Say all you need to be doing is looking for deals and money. What are you doing? He said, you want to know what it is? You scared. And see, a lot of men, if you're over 18, because that's what you is, once you turn over 18, you a grown man. And far too long has the culture coddled men. When you gonna grow to be a man, huh? Because you get some debt on your name for a mortgage? Since you get some debt on your name for a car? No, you become a man when you turn 18. Sorry, that's the reality. You get pushed out, you're a grown adult. Most men can't handle another man saying, yeah, you scared. Nah, I trust Christian vote. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that, and I'ma still associate with him because I wanna be liked. That mentor didn't give a good goddamn on dang. He said what he wanted to say, and we appreciated it because we understand sometimes you gotta hit a harsh reality. So maybe you can get a swift kick in the butt, so you can take action. This mentor sold a business. Why you think he's around us? Because he sold the business. Because he's been a CEO of $100 million company. Who are you? Oh man, trust Christian. You think it's about the accolades? Nah, what we know it's about being effective. If that's what you plan on doing, is building generational wealth, well, you might as well get around that mentor. But oh no, trust Christian, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to build $100 million business and family estate. Exactly. That's what you don't want to admit. But you want to sit and say you want to build generational wealth. You don't. Trust Christian, what you yelling for? Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the biggest misconceptions, and it's so crazy. Successful people are passionate, and they speak that way. Just because you go to environments where people are lukewarm, just because you hang around people that are lukewarm, or you hang around people that are lying to your face, that's what it looks like. Quiet is kept. But when you get around somebody that actually cares about what they speaking about, not just you, but what they speaking about, just like when y'all go to church, right? Some might not even go to church no more. You go to one of them Baptist churches or something, you might hear somebody raise their voice occasionally. Can I get an amen? Hey, can I get a hallelujah? Hey, all of that. But that's not wrong then, huh? Like we were sitting around one of the mentors. He said, "You scared. You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings." He said, "You gotta let that go, cause you're not gonna make it if you don't. People not gonna be mad at the decision you made. You just gotta make a decision." And you're sitting there, you're like, "Man, that's wild." Like mentor, we just taking notes. We're like, all right, today's day we're gonna take action. Guess what? As soon as we got off the phone, we took action. We ain't even delay. We just took action. We got off the phone with him. We had to take action. This mentor already done made $100 million and managed $100 million. What do you think he's on the line with you for? Cause he believes in you. What you think Trust Christian is on the line with you for? Cause we believe in you. You think that Trust Christian's on the line with y'all because y'all paid? We got mentors that associate with us that didn't pay. So that's not a indicator of I like you. It's an indicator that someone believes in you and they know that you can be effective. The question is, are you going to focus and keep being trying to be liked, or are you going to be effective? That's one mentor. He popped that to us. Said, trust Christian advice. Said, look, you better get over it real quick. And left it at that. We remember one time we was around what people would call a good friend. It was definitely an OG at one point. So we ended up outgrowing mentors over at the Vault. So we were around this one OG mentor at this time, very successful, played professional sports, and Trust Christian Vault. We were like, yeah, I'm gonna do this as a sport. And that mentor looked us dead in the eyes and said, you ain't that. And we looked at him and we were like, oh, okay, well, me. Don't you supposed to speak it into existence? Ain't that what y'all trying to do? I gotta speak that I'm a generational wealther into existence. How you gonna do that and you say you an employee? How you gonna do that and you talking about trying to transfer your income from your job to the trust? How? That's not a business. That's not generational wealth mentality. But if you gonna speak it into existence, we got you. So they trying to speak it into existence. And mentor, Say, oh yeah, you ain't gonna play that sport. You're not gonna be that. Guess what? We did. And there's gonna be moments in your life where people that you love, people that you trust, people that you respect, they're gonna say something to you. And you gotta make a decision whether you're gonna be liked or you're gonna be affected. Because even in that moment when one of the mentors said that to us, we just looked at him like he was stupid. Like that didn't change our dream. That didn't change our goal. We gonna do it anyways. We did it anyways. That didn't stop us from having a relationship with that individual. Oh, trust Christian. Oh, you said I wasn't gonna make it. You said I wasn't gonna make it as a generational wealth or as an employee. Until you keep beating your head up and then you find out like, oh wow, he was right. Because even that mentor that we talking about, they still gave us tips on how to become a better athlete in what we was doing. They played professional sports. They know what it is to go to the highest level. That was the point. They were effective at what they did. And they're letting you know, hey, don't look like you being too effective right now. But there's a lot of work you got to do behind the scenes that most people don't see anyways. People rather be liked than effective, huh? Trustees rather be liked than effective. Instead of actually putting in the work for your family estate. Trust Christian, I can't miss no vacations. I can't save more money this year than I did last year. I can't cut back on anything. My life's supposed to be expansive. I'm living abundantly. Oh, here we go. Let's hop into this one. Trust Christian, I'm not gonna make my kids come to the meetings. I'm not gonna tell my kids that the family estate is paying for them to become an accountant, a lawyer, or a doctor. Oh no, Trust Christian. What you talking about? What, you not smart? So why can't your kids become that? Well, Trust Christian, I'm not trying to force my kids to be that. Y'all not in generational wealth families, ladies and gentlemen. Like, that's just the bottom line. We sit in a room with generational wealth families, ladies and gentlemen, and we letting y'all know. Most of the time, these people, they all pretty much doing the same thing. When y'all look at the Rothschilds, they're in banking. When y'all look at other families, they're doing this. That's just the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all look at the Mannings, they playing football. When y'all look at the LeBron James fan, they playing basketball. What you talking about? I'm not going to force my kids to do this. Don't worry. They won't have the generational wealth in generations because it's a thought process behind it. Don't say it like that, Trust Christian in the vote. I didn't have free choice and I made it. How hard was it for you? How challenging was it for you? What are some of the obstacles? I know, Trust Christian, it was real hard. I mean, I know I raised some soft kids, and they ain't trying to do what I did. Exactly. Because we hear it all the time, even from some of the wealthy families that we know. They'll let you know, oh, yeah, my kids, I'm not giving them any money. And we'll ask them why. And they'll be like, because they're not built for this. Oh, Trust Christian, vote. My kid's not built for this business stuff. Exactly. Because you didn't prepare him. Because you wanted to be liked. They say it's a whole generation of parents trying to be their children's friend. When did that kick in? After 2000? The late 80s babies, the late 90s babies, all of a sudden now their parents trying to like them, trying to be liked instead of being effective, making sure your kid has a sound education, making sure that your child has a sound opportunity in life. Actually, making sure that your child knows the options that are available to them in life. Instead of telling them they got to pick up a basketball, they got to pick up a football. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to go tap dance for massa. You got to be an entertainer. That's what we doing. Then you got a whole generation coming up talking about they're going to be a content creator. That sounds so pornographic, it ain't even funny. So, oh, yeah, I'm going to be a content creator, Trust Christian in the vault. My kids are going to be content creators. It's an entertainer. Content creator, entertainer, same thing. You got to entertain people. That's why Trust Christian and Vote ain't pressed about showing the face on the podcast. It's not necessary no more. Oh man, Trust Christian and Vote. I want to see success. Okay. You're not trying to force your kids to come to the business meeting for the family estate. We had one trustee say, we said, do you know what the amount is generational wealth? They said, oh, I got an insurance policy that's $10 million for my kids. You don't even understand how bad things could get if you don't prepare them. But they want to sit here and indirectly say, oh, well, my kids, they going to get $10 million. With a job or with a business mentality? You can give them all $10 million? Or you actually going to make sure that they understand that this is a business estate, not a personal estate? See the difference? It's too easy to fail. So we talk about that at the vault. So many families, they got to come to the table together. They got to sit at the table together. They got to hold a meeting together. See, Trust Christian Vault, we don't have that problem at the vault. Oh, Trust Christian, you don't want to be liked? No, that don't keep you paid. And that don't keep generational wealth in your pocket. Why? Because we understand when you get to a certain point, when you in generational wealth status, there's going to be many of people that hate you and don't like you. But oh no, don't say that to me, Trust Christian Vote. I'm trying to be liked by everybody. I'm better than Jesus. Everybody's supposed to like me. I look good. Instead of being effective for your family. People feel obligated to go to family events instead of focusing on their family estate and saying, you know what, I gotta go talk to the accountant for the family. Hey, I gotta interview some family accountants. Hey, I gotta interview a family attorney. Hey, I gotta go take some docs to the family attorney so we can make sure that we got everything filed properly, so we can make sure that the family estate set up properly. Don't say that to me, Trust Christian in the vault. I'm family oriented. I'm family oriented, Trust Christian Vault. How you family oriented and you broke? Do you know how bad that sounds? I'm family oriented, but I'm broke. Nah, that's not family oriented. It's just broke. Family oriented means you make the sacrifice and say, you know what? I love y'all, but I got to be effective today. I got to go and take some time and study some information. How y'all going to say you building generational wealth and you not studying? You over here watching the finals. You know who's scoring. You know who's fouled out. You know who's not playing. You know what time the game comes on. But you didn't plan a family estate meeting. Y'all don't want to hear how ugly it is. Oh, Trust Christian Vote, don't tell me that. Trust Christian Vote. You don't even know how despicable it sounds, how hilarious it sounds. Because at one point it just gets like boring to even hear. Like, wow. Oh, Trust Christian, I know what time the game come on, but you didn't set a family estate meeting for your family this week. But you know what time the finals coming on. Hey, honey, we got to make sure we at the bar. Hey, honey, we got to make sure the house is clean. Let's go there. Let's talk that. Hey, honey, we got to make sure the house is clean because we got people coming over to chips and dip it for the game. Oh, really? Y'all chips and dipping it for the game, but you not chips and dipping it. At least having a 15, 20, 30-minute meeting for the family estate. You know what it is? Oh, Trust Christian, we don't know where to start. Oh, really? You don't know where to start? Did you go listen to the Vault episodes? Trust Christian, I've been listening to all the episodes, but I don't want my family to get mad at me because I'm stepping in another room with some of the men and we having a men's meeting now. We didn't involve the women. Y'all want to go there? So the men had to step out the room to have a man conversation, and the men are scared because they don't want to be not liked by their wife. Hey, it's like one of them things. Why? We didn't vote for Kamala, Trust Christian Vote, so we had to go sleep on the couch. Yeah, and that's why you're working a job for the man, because you don't know how to make man decisions. You got to make some man decisions. You got to plan a schedule for your family. When you going to step up and take the mantle of leadership? Trust Christian, why you got to say it like that? Why are you yelling, Trust Christian? You yelling at us, Can't you say it nicely? Don't you want to be liked? Trust Christian in the vault really doesn't care. Because at one point, when your money is in a good position, when your family stays in a good position, you stop thinking about being liked. Because that's not what helps you get in the position you need to be in. You got to be effective. You got to call people multiple times. Here we go. We got a mentor. Y'all don't even want to know this mentor. He done sold 3 companies. How many did you sell? So now we're going to get back to what's effective. So we call this mentor, and we call this mentor is either on a Saturday or Sunday. It don't matter. Because most people consider that the weekend, which is not business hours. This mentor done sold 3 companies. So he ain't working a job for nobody. Sat around one. We called the mentor. We called him at like 8 or 9 in the morning. Left a message. Bam. Need to talk to him about something important. We found out some information on Friday. We called him on Saturday because we got tired of thinking about it. Call him next day. All right, bam. Saturday, Sunday. We call him, talk to him. All right, hey mentor. We called him. We called him on Saturday. He didn't pick up. We left him a message. Oh man, Trust Christian, I'm waiting for the mentor to call me back. Ain't you waiting for him to call you back? No, Trust Christian's not waiting for him to call back. Guess what? Trust Christian called him again at 2 p.m. Called him again at 2 p.m. Guess what the mentor did immediately? Picked up the phone. Hey, how's it going, Trust Christian? Hey, we ain't got time to be asking, well, hey, did you get my message? Hey, ain't give a dang. We got a question to ask you. Hey, go ahead, shoot away. See, it's about being effective. It's not about being like, you think that mentor said, hey, you're calling me 2 times, you're bothering me. No, no. He understands the difference between being liked and being effective. You hear the difference? He knows the difference between being liked and effective. You think he sold 3 companies, one of them to one of the largest private equity firms in the United States, because he wanted to be liked? No. It's because he wanted to be effective. So he knows when somebody's looking to be effective. And he appreciates when someone's looking to be effective. We got mentors that'll tell. Oh, here we go. We had one trustee say, it hurts my feelings when people cut me off when I'm talking. Oh my gosh. Trustee said, it hurts my feelings when people cut me off, Trust Christian. I get my feelings. Wow. That's how you know they're not going to make it. Because they're more concerned about being liked than being effective. Don't cut people off. That's not good manners. You hear that? Conventional wisdom. Political correctness. Don't cut people off, Trust Christian to vote. If they spewing nonsense, you gotta let them know. If it's incorrect, why let them continue with the misinformation? But we living in an era of misinformation and not having facts. How you get to the facts? People want to be liked. They don't want to be effective, do they? Do you want to be liked or do you want to be effective? I don't want my family to think I'm crazy with this trust stuff, Trust Christian involved. I'm over here talking about generational wealth. I'm talking about a family meeting, and they looking at me like, well, you work a job. What you know about that? Well, if you were studying, you would be able to explain it. If you were studying, you wouldn't even care. If you were studying. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Feel free to reach out, Christian@trustchristian.com, Christian@trustchristian.com. Peace and joy.